We look at charts, and I think it's reasonable to do so, right? And people often ask me, hey, Mike, why don't you panic when you see charts go down, when you see the numbers go down? And my answer is pretty simple. It's like, first of all, I don't really understand charts like that. I just know that when it's green, it's good. When it's red, it's not. So I'm not emotionally connected to the chart. I'm emotionally connected to the system. I'm emotionally connected to our tokenomics, to our environment. I'm emotionally connected to the leadership. And I know if those things are solid, if those things are the foundation is strong in that, I know we're going to move. I know we're going to be successful. I understand companies. I understand building. I certainly understand people. So I realize that if we can just stay consistent with our vision, stay consistent with moving forward, stay consistent with continuing to push the envelope, from a branding perspective, which is the number one reason why we're here today, from a branding perspective, public awareness perspective. If we're continuing to push the envelope on that, believe me, it's going to come together in a way that's going to put Saitama in a league of its own. And I don't know how many people recognize this, but we're moving towards that right now. Do you know how unreal it is in business, period? Not just crypto, but in business, period. How unrealistic it is in most cases for a company to be, this young. We're still in the infancy stage, and to move and shake in the magnitude that we've been able to do, believe me, trust me, the eyes are on us. There are big places, big names, big situations that are looking at us right now, engaging with us right now. I mean, imagine where we are today. I mean, this fight, it was interesting. Like I said, I'm sitting in my hotel room, and just, yesterday, we're at the weigh-in. I don't know how many people actually saw the actual weigh-in, Showtime, ESPN, but I'm at the weigh-in, and I'm just, for a moment, first of all, you're running 1,000 miles an hour just trying to make things happen. But in the weigh-in, I just so happened to step outside of myself and just kind of take in this moment. This moment for Saitama, this moment for all of us on this line, and all of us who are holders, that have the right mindset in Saitama, this moment and what it represents, kind of what it means in the building block of success for Saitama, and the quantum leap that we just took, just being able to be in this room, just being able to be in this environment. I'm looking around, and I'm looking at Showtime. I'm looking at ESPN. I'm looking at, I've been around these kind of situations before, but to be in this room and what it represents to be here, and who we're representing. We're representing Saitama. We're representing no other cryptocurrency company was in this building. No other cryptocurrency company was in this environment. It was us. And then I look up at Tank, as we're talking back and forth and all these things, and I look up, and some people think, and I've seen some of the comments, how people are, it's never enough, right? I get it. But I'm looking up there, and I'm like, man, all of these millions of eyes are on this right now. And this guy Tank is wearing our hat, right? This is us. He's speaking to us, and he's sharing with the world, us, Saitama. Even as something as simple as it may be to other people, as simple as it may be just wearing a hat that says Saitama, believe me, big eyes are looking at that. That says such a statement. And there's more to come. Don't worry. I hope you all are going to watch the fight tonight. We're going to be there representing. But as I looked at that and I represented, I'm like, my gosh, that guy is wearing our hat. Tank World Championship fighter is wearing our hat. As a matter of fact, here's a fun fact. He's actually wearing my hat. and I don't mean my hat like I ordered it for him. I mean, this is the hat off my head to him. Like, we needed to get him a hat. We needed to get him something. And here's my hat. I don't quite know how to ask for it back, because, I know he's a world championship boxer, so I don't want to bother him and irritate him in any way. But I guess for the sake of where we are, I guess he can keep it, huh? But I'm looking at where we are, where we're going, and where we're headed. And just to know what this represents, because most people don't understand what it takes to even get at the table to have these conversations. A cryptocurrency company, right? Think about that. World championship boxing, world championship fighter. Do you know what it takes to even get a meeting with these people? It is almost impossible, especially a company that's barely a year old. Not even a year old, 6 months old, 7 months old, barely. Just that alone lets you know how powerful relationships are. And that's what we talk about, the power of relationships, relationship building. So the reality is that we have internal relationships with things that are kind of, for most people or most companies at this stage, is out of reach. But when you have the right relationships, believe me, that can cut through a lot. And that's how we get to the table. But then once you get to the table, here's the other thing. Even though you have relationships to get in the room, you still have to have something valid enough to get their attention, to make them want to continue to talk to you. And then once you get to the table, you get their attention, they're willing to talk to you. Now you have to perform. Now you have to show them why it's important that you connect with us, just as important as it is for them to connect, for us to connect with them. And so now it moves to the next layer. You move up to the next layer. And here we are. Okay, we want to turn down and not allow any other cryptocurrency company at this moment to be connected with this situation. And here we are, connected with this situation at the highest level, to where you saw the first piece, you saw the first reference of the magnitude of the power of Saitama, the power of relationships, the fact that that man, that fighter, that champion, in front of millions of people, is wearing Saitama merchandise. That says so much, volumes in that. And believe me, do you think other cryptocurrency companies didn't see this, that know who Saitama is? You don't think they recognize Saitama? You don't think other corporations, corporate brands, you don't think they recognize Saitama? Trust me, they do. So what does that mean moving forward? Do you think the door will be open a little easier, a little wider for Saitama to walk in to even build even greater connections and relationships? Do you know what this means moving forward, ongoing? This is where we have to talk about building and brand building, brand awareness. And I know some people look at things, and I get it, I understand. Believe me, I don't knock it. But you know how it is. Everybody wants this big one punch thing. I mean, no pun intended, even though our logo represents one punch, but no pun intended. But if you look at this, we just want this one punch kind of knockout thing. Like, hey, here's that big announcement. Where's the money? Here's that giant announcement. Where's the big rise in the chart? I get it, but that's not totally realistic. In building a relationship or building anything, a relationship from our brand to the consumers out there, in building that, that takes time. Everything is not going to be a knockout, not immediately. We have a plan. We have game plan, and sometimes it doesn't quite work out at the moment that we wanted to. It's funny, as a boxing reference, I heard Mike Tyson say one time, everybody has a fight plan until they get punched in the face. And you know what? It makes sense. In building, that's what it is. Everything doesn't hit or knock out right away. But believe me, there are seeds that are planted. That's why you have to hold. That's why we talk about just hold. Sometimes, even like a farmer, you plant seeds. It doesn't sprout immediately. That'd be great if it did, right? But that's not realistic. Good grief. Anybody married or got a girlfriend or boyfriend? Sometimes it ain't right away. Sometimes you gotta invest some time. You gotta invest some money. You gotta invest some connection. Communicate. It takes time for the relationship to mature, right? So in business, in building, just understand how valuable what we have is. Just understand the power of just think of what we've accomplished in just this short period of time. I mean, for crap's sakes, I've only been here for maybe 3 months. I mean, I got here in August, right? So Saitama was already a couple of months old before I got here. I got here in August. It's only what, November, August, September, October, November. Is that 3 months? No, it's December. So barely 3, 4 months. And to see where we've come in this period of time is fascinating. I mean, that's a story within itself, right? That's history within itself. I mean, if you recognize, normal progression in growing a business, growing a brand, it takes time. But just think about it. Even the time from zero to right now that we have existed to right now, it's historic what we've been able to accomplish. Are we approaching 300,000 followers? 300,000 holders, rather? Are we approaching that number? Do you know, in that short period of time, do you know how many companies out there would give an organ, legally or illegally, would give an organ to have growth like that? To experience that level of connection? Nearly 300,000 people believe in your mission, your vision, your cause. I mean, we've got to be proud of that. As a community, we've got to be proud of that. And we've reached these numbers through challenges. We've reached these numbers through tremendous FUD. We've reached these numbers through tremendous adversity, which is with anything that is a part of something meaningful, anything of great value, of great worth. You're going to go through literal hell to get there. And guess what? We're earning our stripes. That's what you have to be proud of. We're earning our stripes. That's why the power of the community. And I've said this, if anybody's ever heard me before or have ever connected with me before, I've always said, as powerful as our use cases are, as powerful as our technology is, as amazing as our leadership team, from Russ on down, the leadership team, as amazing as they are, there is nothing that we hold more powerful than our community. There is no catalyst more powerful than our community. It is the community that builds this. It is the community that takes this to historic levels. It's the community. Everything else are tools that the community can use. But our mindset, our heart, our focus, our unity, our willingness to step out there and make something happen, that's the power in this token. That's the power in this business. That's the power in this company. It is the community. That's why I love the community so much. I love community. I love community building. I love good people. I love people's visions. I love people's hopes and dreams. I love to be a part of it in some kind of way. But you need leadership to move the train, to move the vehicle forward. And I believe we have that. Russ is an amazing guy. I'm telling you, I've spent enough time with him, talked to him enough. I know where his heart is. I know where his intentions are, right? And the rest of the dev team, amazing. But I know this to be true. It takes leaders with vision, big vision, so that people's dreams can fit inside of it. And everybody on this line, I'm sure, you have hopes, you have dreams, but you need a vehicle to get there. You've got desires, but you need a vehicle to get there. Do you know why we're all here? Because we believe that Saitama is the vehicle. So all we have to do is do our part. Yeah, we're going to have negativity. Everything ain't going to be perfect. I don't know anything that is, actually. I don't know anyone that is. I've seen some good relationships, but I've never seen a perfect one, right? I've seen some good situations, but I've never seen a perfect one. So that's why when things don't go quite right, or maybe things aren't said quite right, please recognize in all the success that we've experienced, Saitama still is a startup company, right? At this moment, we're still in the startup phase. So I think to a degree, we kind of get spoiled by the success just because that's why the tolerance is so low. Man, if we don't say it actually perfect, here it comes, right? If we don't do it actually perfect, here it comes. And that's why I say, to a degree, it takes us, the real committed believers, the real committed connections to Saitama and our hearts and our mind, it takes us to speak volume. It takes us to turn up the volume with positivity. To me, I believe this. I never heard the word FUD until I got into Saitama. I mean, I know what it is now, but in regular business, and I've never heard what FUD is. As a matter of fact, I was like, why do people keep saying FUD? But of course, I didn't want to ask anybody that question because I didn't want to sound or look weird or weirder than I already do. But I looked at that like, what the heck is FUD? What is that? But then you realize, man, I've been dealing with FUD my whole life, if that's what the definition is. But you understand that I realize, and I hope you do too, that FUD has no power unless you accept it. FUD has no meaning unless you accept it. When I say accept it, that means magnify it. That means indulge in it, right? It has no power if you don't accept it, if you don't let it stick. FUD only matters if you let it sink in. Has no power, no effect if we don't let it sink in. So that to me is when I even see negative comments. I mean, we're out here working, we're out here hustling, grinding, doing everything we possibly can. You have no idea the work that goes into just being here, right? And so imagine to a degree if we allowed it, right, to kind of sink in when we look in the comments of things. And it just seems like people just take their precious time to just construct just the most ignorant comments that it's like, how do you sit there and just take your time to construct something like that? And we're out here working and doing everything that we could do and, just trying to make it work so everybody, we all can live the dreams. That's what we want. That's ultimately what it is. The intent is perfect. The intent of where we want to be is perfect. But the reality is no matter what you do, it's usually never enough. Do you know, I heard people say, I saw it on the on some of the thread. It was actually funny though. But I mean, the guy's wearing a hat, Javante, he's got the hat on. And, I heard people say, well, why doesn't he have a shirt on? Why didn't he have a Saitama shirt? I'm like, my God, do you know how hard it was to get that hat on him? Right? And then if we had the hat on and then we had the shirt on, somebody's going to say, well, why doesn't he have Saitama socks on? Well, who's looking at his feet? I don't know. We haven't got to that point. Oh, if he's got Saitama socks on, well, why doesn't he have Saitama drawers on or something like that? I probably would never get to see that. That's not my goal. So it probably wouldn't matter. But no matter what you do, it will never be enough. And we have to accept that as long as we continue to move forward, as long as we continue to make a difference, we know what this means. We know the seeds that are planted here. Now, if you go right to the chart and like, okay, we announced Saitama is going to be at the fight. Where's the money? If you look at it from that perspective, you're going to be disappointed most of the time. Oh, Saitama was just viewed on Showtime with the hat and people see it. Okay, let me look at the chart. Let me open my phone and look at the chart. Oh, the chart isn't reflecting. Oh, this is not a good idea. If you're connecting every announcement to what you feel the chart is supposed to be, man, you're going to drive yourself crazy because that's not building. That's not real brand building. It's just not it. It just doesn't work that way. You're going to be disappointed most of the time. Building is a process. Growth is a process, even though we've moved exceedingly well in the growth department, but it is a process. What we need, what we ask, and what we hope for from the community, as I'm a community member as well. That's it. I have no official title with Saitama. I'm just a guy from the community, I promise you. No official title. No, I'm not on the dev team or nothing. People have even said that I'm in the dev team and that. I am not. I am not a dev member. I don't have any official title with Saitama. I see an opportunity. I see how I can help. I see, resources that I have can make a difference. I think this is exciting. I see people that I connect with. I'm a genuine lover of success. I'm a genuine lover of genuine people, genuinely good people. You know what? I'm actually okay with people who are not good people. At least I'm good with them being genuine about it. I'm okay with that. I mean, if you're a jerk by nature, I'm okay with you if you let me know it. If you're a jerk by nature and we're clear, just be consistent. That's all. I love a consistent jerk. It's all good. Just like I love consistent good people. But if you're a jerk, I love it. Just be a jerk all the time. That's all I appreciate. Don't switch up on me. If you're going to love me all the time. If you're going to hate me all the time. And I'm okay with you. I love those people. So I won't take up any more time. I'm sorry. I get too excited. I get passionate.
No,
I apologize.
you're doing great, man.